Oh, being a businesswoman is so draining, especially when your wife is on a business trip. Being a fugitive is so annoying. Slightly better than the all-nighter I did last night. Time for some rosé wine. Oh. 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 Where am I? Your mind. Duh. Rhea, how are you here? You're dead. In reality, sure, but this is your mind, full of infinite possibilities, including me still being alive. But why now? I've never dreamt of you before. Because you're usually sober and don't think that about me. But now you're drunk, your mind is being reminded of the guilt you feel about me. What guilt? It's not my fault you were born with a serial killer gene, and I wasn't. It's not my fault you abused me growing up, and it's not my fault that you were evil. While all that might be true, the last time we spoke, you told me you never wanted to speak to me again, and in reality you got your wish. So my mind created you to try and absolve me of the guilt. That, and there's also the guilt that you feel around your friends from the bank heist. You got away while they're all dead or in prison. Stop talking! First, there was the getaway driver, Miles Chase, killed while trying to escape. I'm pretty sure he had a crush on you.
You're very pretty.
Shut up! Then there was Donny Fraser, the one who was caught, escaped when the police car he was in crashed, then proceeded to kill the police chief at his home before killing himself.
If it was the last thing I saw, I would not complain.
Shut up! And finally, there's Vincent Peterson, the leader of the group, who last time you bothered to check was in jail awaiting trial.
The future is bright, my school friends. Let's make sure it's a good one.
Shut up! And of course, you never figured out who stabbed you. One moment you're talking to Vincent after getting all the money. Next thing you know, you're waking up having been stabbed and running out the bank before checking what happened to the others. You spent sleepless nights wondering which one of them did it to you. Were they ever even your friends? What can I do to get you to shut up? You've done well for yourself. Well, sure, you wanted a fugitive living under a fake name, with only your wife knowing your real identity, but you're also a successful businesswoman, and I want it. What are you talking about? I want to take over your body and start killing again, starting with your lovely wife once she gets back from her business trip. No! Oh yes, I just need you to submit fully to your guilt. Not happening. Oh, fuck. I haven't been this scared since ever. What am I supposed to do if I fall asleep again? Will Rhea be there to take over my body? Oh, I can't let that happen. Oh, fuck, what am I going to do? Oh, thank God it's a weekend. I don't have to worry about working tomorrow. I need a drink to get rid of my hangover. I've got to think about what to do with my imaginary Rhea problem. Oh, and I might as well get changed into something more comfy as well.
Okay, this should be a good place to hide for a few hours until the heat dies down. Bob!
Hi?
I haven't seen you for so long.
I was kinda sort of recently possessed by a demon, and as a result my memory's a bit muddled up at the moment.
Oh, my name's Maxwell Michael. I used to work for the CIA with my now wife, Samantha Golding. We were on an undercover mission when we met you.
Okay.
It's known in certain circles that CIA agents are trained to obey orders, such as no sex between agents. And you saved us from that.
I did?
Just saw my shoelaces undone. Continue.
Our cover was about to be blown when you suggested that me and Samantha have sex to prove that we aren't CIA agents, and we just fell in love from there.
Now I remember, sex between agents can break CIA conditioning.
And I presume you left the CIA afterwards?
We had to pretend that the conditioning was still in effect, but luckily, less than a year later, the CIA director himself sent us on a mission to retrieve an experimental nuclear device from the terrorists, and that mission changed everything.
Oh, I feel much better now. Though, I still haven't thought of an answer to my problems. Who are you?
Don't you recognize my voice?
Vincent, what are you doing here?
I escaped from prison. Got throat surgery to try and not sound like a fucking robot anymore. Which failed. Now it sounds worse and fucked up my face in the process, and I'm here for my money.
Your money?
From the bank heist. I put it together, and since everybody else is dead, I deserve it.
Why do you deserve it? What happened anyway? I heard on the news that Donnie escaped and killed the police chief before killing himself, and that Miles escaped.
That was just bullshit made up by the corrupt SWAT team. In reality, Donnie was an undercover police officer who was in league with the corrupt police chief.
What?
I stabbed you because I thought you might be in league with him before me and Miles drove to the docks to escape. But he was killed right in front of me by the corrupt SWAT team. No chance to surrender or anything like that.
Well, that's awful. You're an idiot and Donnie's a traitor.
Well, the police chief killed him before he died by accident, and the SWAT team covered it up to hide their own corruption, which only came to light after the twin brother of the police chief killed himself after some charismatic woman found out he was a serial killer who framed others for his crimes.
That's the most unbelievable thing that I've ever heard.
I know you're lying.
What are you talking about?
I heard from multiple drug dealers in prison how they got taken down by a man in a robe and a beautiful blonde woman.
So?
That description matches you perfectly.
What's your point?
Well, first, some corrupt police officers framed the man in the robe, some guy called Aaron Boyle, for taking part in the heist, which is why I presume they're not looking for you in connection to the heist. I find it very hard to believe that you had nothing to do with it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Whatever. And secondly, there's a pretty high price on your head in the criminal underworld, and since the man in the robe is dead, I'll drag you back to England, collect the reward money, and keep all the heist money for myself.
I don't want to go back to England. I'll go to prison and be killed for sure.
Okay, and if you wish that to be the case, then so be it. Besides, how on earth are you going to defeat me while wearing high heels? Putting random papers away at a time like this? You are crazy.
Never underestimate a woman's fashion sense, you misogynistic pig. Just because they're hard to walk in doesn't mean they don't have a purpose.
I'm going to make your death extra painful now.
Now that the CIA director was dead, me and Samantha set about making it look like he slipped and broke his neck on a banana peel.
How ironic. One of the world's most protected people dies in a freak accident. At least that's what other people think.
But as we were doing so, we read the file that the director was working on as we entered the room. We were shocked to hear about the clones that were being created with the funding from the United States President, and how the director had been drugging us with a mild amnesia drugs so that we would forget about our encounter with you and wouldn't question why the clones look like you.
I've lost count of the amount of times I encountered people who look exactly like me, though they end up dead most of the time.
So we made sure to delete the file before leaving through the secret entrance, and we've been laying low ever since.
Good plan. Do you have any ideas on what you're going to do in the future?
It would be nice to start a family. I mean, we're millionaires after all with all the gold, even though it took a while to convert it back into real money without raising suspicion. Anyway, enough about me. What are you doing here?
Well, it's very simple. I killed a bad guy in one of the surrounding areas, and I decided to go hide in what I thought was an empty house for a few hours until the heat died down enough for me to make my getaway.
I see. What's gonna happen after you finish killing people? I presume you have a list.
That's for me to know, and for other people to not. What was that?
It sounded like it came from next door.
Who lives there?
No idea. We only moved into this house recently and I haven't really interacted with the neighbours yet.
Right, we better find out what it is.
You sure that's a good idea? Samantha's gonna be home from shopping any time now.
What if it's a serial killer? Don't you want to raise your family in a safe environment?
You're right, let's go.
Did you have to break my window?
It's not my fault you dodged the knife I threw at you.
Because I don't want to die. Where did you get the knife from, anyway?
I have a few on me. I didn't want to use them because I wanted to squeeze the life out of you, but your martial arts skills are too good for me to overcome.
Oh, nice to be prepared.
I admit you've put up a brave fight, but you're clearly exhausted.
You're not.
I survived years of brutal prison labor and you're hungover, time to die.
What are you doing here?
Well, we heard glass shattering and saw a broken window, so we entered and we saw the man who said he was going to kill you, about to kill you.
And since I grabbed the knife from the floor outside and threw it into the back of his heart, saving you.
No, I mean, I've encountered people who look like both of you.
You have?
Yeah. I encountered someone who said they were a clone of you.
How many clones do I have? And you do look vaguely familiar though, although I can't quite remember where.
And I met a guy who called himself the doctor who asked no questions and performed surgery on people to make them look exactly like him.
That's definitely one of my twin brothers.
This is so fucking surreal for me. I'm having trouble trying to comprehend it.
Oh, curse my ability to click my fingers. Your name's Rhea, right?
No, that's my twin sister Rhea, who's dead.
Oh. And I'm not quite sure how to say this, but I kinda sort of killed her.
What?
Well, in my defense, she did kill someone I cared about.
Thank you. Both of you.
I'll get rid of the dead body.
And that brings us to the present day.
So my twin brothers are dead. I'm the last family member left. I want them to turn to a life of crime, but end up with them dead, and I was right.
I did have nightmares about killing Aaron, but my wife helped me get over them.
I'm confused about something. How did non-Americans join the CIA?
I faked my ID and accent. Samantha couldn't really do the accent, but I guess the CIA director wanted a few extra people around, in case you needed to do a mission off of the books, like the final mission we ended up doing for the CIA.
It's insane we happen to be neighbours, connected as we are. What coincidence?
I feel like that's probably the understatement of all time. Samantha's home, and I have a lot to explain. Let me know when your wife's back from that business trip. We should go on a double date.
Ah, that sounds like a lovely idea. And thank you for getting rid of the dead body.
Don't mention it. Let me know when you get done doing that thing that you're doing.
Will do.
So my sister killed multiple people in New Zealand.
I believe so. It was a crazy time and memories are still a bit muddled up about it, but it would suit her character.
I see. You know, we've actually met before.
We have.
It was a few years ago. I was out walking and I heard you say I look nice. For some strange reason, this bubble of anger rushed over me and I stuck up the middle finger and left.
That happens every time I try and say something nice to a woman. I wonder why.
It's quite the mystery.
And you didn't remember when you encountered my clone?
Well, I was bound and gagged on the bed. I didn't have time to go down memory lane. And you didn't remember me and Maria either.
I forgot! Ugh. I think the heat has died down enough so I can get out of here.
Good luck.
Thanks. Same to you too.
I know what I need to do. and this time your body's mine. No! What? You've killed multiple people, you've ruined multiple people's lives, and most of all, you ruined my childhood. No! This can't be happening! I'm going to move on with my life and be supported with love and banish you from my mind. No! Goodbye, Rhea. It hasn't been a pleasure knowing you. No! That's so much better. So much more peaceful.